What's happening? Welcome to A4Z Podcast. I is your host, Donnie. And today I got a special guest with me, Mr. Tools, man. And we
Hey,
talking
hey,
about
hey.
what's up, man? We talking about Black History today, man. Man, matter of fact, man, we kind of gotta celebrate Mr. Tools because man, this brother right here himself is an entrepreneur doing big things. He always come through with some powerful knowledge for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, Mr. Tools, man, I gotta get you on the podcast, man. You gotta preach to the
I
world,
appreciate
man. Wisdom. Okay, man. But okay. So one thing that we are talking about today, okay, Black History. That's the subjects that I'm on for this month. We're gonna keep it strong with that. And we're gonna talk about like we're gonna say one of the major causes to what would you say the reason? You wouldn't say the reason why the black people are the way they are, would you? You wouldn't say that, would you? How would you describe? Let me see. Ah,
Uh, what do you mean? Like,
something necessary.
well,
Okay, this is just something necessary. We just have to talk about, and we are talking about the education, schools, and stuff on how
mm,
they got how they are and how they have affected the black community, right?
right. All
So,
right.
with you want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say now I'm originally not from Indianapolis. I grew up on the East Coast, Dale City, Virginia, 30 miles south of DC.
Uh-huh.
I would say out there, the school system, Prince William County, in the top 10. So when I came to Indianapolis, it was a little different for me. Um, I think Indianapolis has everything a major city has without the hustle and bustle. It's a lot of money in this city to be made and so forth. And um, I was told there was a time over there on Shaylin, you could get fired and walk next door and have a job again, because it was booming here.
And I don't know because you probably don't know about this now. Back in the day, Indiana Avenue, they said that was like the biggest black. They had all the black. It was like Black Wall Street, like
Okay.
Baldwin Hills. They had. I'm too young for all of that though. But OG Griff, he knows.
Right.
They had all the what is it? What would I say? All the
Well,
clubs, grocery stores, all black owned. You know what I'm saying?
well, I think back then you had a lot of that due to like the
Segregation.
co-op they had in the school systems and stuff like that. And blacks got that training. They was able to go to the GMs and the Chrysler and get that job and make that loan money and so forth.
Uh-huh.
And I used to always say when I came to Indianapolis, on the East Coast, it's what I would call paperwork. It's not a lot of factory type stuff. And so you have to think about it by design. I believe they don't want everybody to go to college because somebody got to work in factories. So there's not going to
Man.
be an initial push. Oh, let me get everybody educated like that. And when they were educating us with the trade schools and the co-ops and all that, we got the jobs and they couldn't have, and they didn't like that. And so they start getting rid of those things. So like the tech and all that stuff, you know, auto mechanic, masonry, when I went to school, we had everything all the way down to cosmetology for the females and stuff. So it's all about opportunities.
So you saying pretty much what he's saying is uh it was a design why they got like a lot of black people in the inner city
Mm-hmm.
because they want them in public schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so would you say that somebody in a public school, I mean, would you say it now? Like, would you say somebody in a public school can't get a better
Well,
job than somebody in a township school, or what?
well, see, me not being here, I couldn't speak to that. I think what troubles me is,
But it's happening all over the
you
world. It's the same thing.
they, they don't never say let's fix the school. It's like let's just move my kid to a better school, and I don't really like that. I mean, because everybody's not fortunate to do all that. I think your education determines your income, that determines your neighborhood. And I think all that's by design too. So even when we was talking about back in the day, uh, what is it? Affirmative action. To me, it was never about, oh, I'm black and I'm a quota, get me the job. To me, it was about, let's level the playing field for education. Give me the opportunity to go to that school and I can better myself, then I can get a job because I'm qualified for the job. You still got to perform, you know.
Mm.
So that's, to me, that's what that was all about. And then they flipped it, they rebranded and felt like, it was discriminating another group, reverse engineering it more or less. But it all comes back to opportunity. I never understood people say, well, I got to get out the hood, and then just get in your car and drive to the next place and get a job. There's nothing making you stay there,
Wait,
So,
hold on now. You said there's nothing making people stay there?
yeah, you're a prisoner of your own mind, man. Like, get in your car and go find a job in another city. You ain't
Yeah.
staying in the hood. So it comes back to responsibility. You don't want to be responsible. You don't believe in yourself. It's America, man. It's not a certain amount of pies. You just make more pies. My success does not depend on me beating you down. We both can win. So it's just the way you look at things.
True. So that's a lot with the what is it, the board Brown versus the Board of Education.
Mhm.
You know about that, right?
Yeah.
And stuff and all that equality in the schools and everything, because that's still like that till this day. Like me personally, I my first, let me see, my first school that I went, it wasn't my first school. My first school was like it was a public school. They done closed it now though, but I went to mostly Catholic schools, right? And it was just a whole bunch of racism in it, right? Like okay, probably one school, probably okay, two schools that I went to that I can really remember where they had nuns and stuff, and it's just so many racism in that stuff, right? Um, I remember one time we in class and it's raining hard outside, right? Guess what this nun said to me? She
What
said,
is it?
"Man, it looks like it's raining nigger babies out there." You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm serious. Like, I was born in '93, man. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I don't know. It was probably still in the '90s when that stuff happened, but it's just still like that and stuff. And but before I went to Catholic, I mean, yeah, when I had got out of Catholic school, I went to I went back to IPS school. I went to George Washington, then I went to Arsenal Tech. And what was it? Man, when I first got to Washington, right? I thought I was smarter than all these kids. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we learning stuff that and I kind of feel like that kind of, I don't know. It kind of got to me because I was like, man, I'm smarter than all these kids. I'm about to my first year at IPS, I did real good and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started slacking and everything. And then I had some troubles at home and all of that. But besides all of that, man, I could definitely firsthand see that, yo, I was getting a better education. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. So the question becomes, why does it have to be that? Why can't all the schools be good? Put the money, Now some of that has to do with our own doing. You don't fill out, the census and all that. That's how your money get over there and so forth. You know, um, this education is very important, man. And but all schools are not the same. I understand that and I get that, but it's like, why do you just give up and abandon it and say, okay, we just gonna have a whole different system? And they go back and forth, man. I want my kid to have a better education, so I'm gonna get to the good neighborhood, so that because you define the school by where you live, so you caught in that circle too. But it's all by design, man. It's all
So
by
so
design.
what let these people know what's the way we can change that? Voting, right?
Yeah, voting and filling out your census for starters, right, and making your concerns known. You know, grandma is what, 24 now. So we got our own little things we're dealing with and so forth, man. You got this cycle. Like when I was growing up, I mean, it was the community raised the kids. You know, your neighbor would chastise you. Parents believed other parents or whoever was in charge. You couldn't go to somebody's house if their parents wasn't home. You know, you
You can't
didn't
do
allow
that now.
kids to raise themselves, man. It was always a personal authority or contact 24/7. It's a different world now.
But you can't do, yeah, exactly. It's a different world now. You can't do that because there's just too many. It's too many crazy people out here, man. It's too many sick people out here. You know.
Yeah.
I remember what's that movie? That Christmas movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. That one that one part in it had me dying laughing with Sinbad in there. He you know, you seen the movie, right?
Which movie we talking about here?
It's like Jingle something with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jingle All the Way or Jingle Bell or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Anyways, what had happened was this was my favorite part in the movie because it was real funny. So Sinbad, he was a little male dude and stuff, and the police was about to crack down on him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he so he a mailman, he pulled out a package that's saying it's a bomb, right?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, just to throw him off and everything. And then what he did was he said, back now, I'm gonna leave this that bomb right here and shit. And nobody follow me, I'm gonna detonate it.
Okay. Yeah.
So so anyway, he got away and shit, and he's running after trying to get a toy and everything. So he's running and shit, and out of nowhere, a kaboom! It's like he was just playing like it was a real bomb and shit, like he didn't know it was, but it really was and shit. And he turned around, he said, "Man, there's some sick people out here."
Right. See?
It was, it was funny though to me.
Right.
But yeah, it is. It's a lot of sick people out here. You know what I'm saying? You can't just trust everybody. Because let me tell you about this. When I went, let me see. I remember back in the day, I went to this one church, and you know how if you in church playing around, some people are like,
Right.
"Hey,
Somebody gonna get you. That's right.
exactly."
They
I
supposed
was
to.
mad than a mug when this lady told me to stop that. I was
That's
like,
right.
"Man, you ain't my mama. I'm about to tell my mama on you."
Yes,
But you,
well, we talk about respecting your elders in the community, village, raising the kids. Stuff. So let me share this with you, man. I was in college one time, and I had a white roommate, and he was telling me that there was a girl at his high school that was having some racial problems, and he wanted me to go back to his high school with him, go home with him on the weekend. Now, to this day, I don't even know where I went. It was somewhere in Kentucky. And I thought about it and I asked about it, and everybody was like, oh, don't do it. But I decided to go. So I went and we get to his house. And then he says, you hungry? I'm like, yeah, I can eat. And then we go to a Dairy Queen. His parents own the Dairy Queen.
uh-huh.
And here go my first little lesson, I realized. We get out the car. I said, man, what are you doing? And he was like, what do you mean? I said, man, you left your keys in the ignition. And he was like, oh, it'll be okay. And we went in and we ate, and then we do like everybody do. We rode, got back in the car and we rode up and down the strip a couple times. And then that was that. Then we went to the game. It was a basketball game. And I met the young lady. I talked to her, comfort her, whatever. And then we sat on the bleachers. And I'm watching these white boys hooping like really good and the band and everything. And then for a moment, I thought about what if I grew up in this little town here. I probably never would have got a scholarship. I probably never went to national. It just hit me like a brick wall opportunity. And it saddened me when we waste opportunity because everybody really don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true, man. It do really do be like that. And like what was it was one thing you had told me and stuff, like if you ask a white person, man, how does it feel to be
To be
free?
free. Like, what does that really feel like?
Exactly. They
They
don't
look
know. They don't, like you told me, man. This was your words and stuff. We don't know what it felt like to say "fuck you" to the cops and not get any some type of repercussion behind that shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, what's it feel to be free like that? So we have to realize there's limitation and things, and you can't make nobody do nothing, man, because God gave everybody free will. That's how it goes. That's what it say. You know if you want a mind by the way you treat one another. So, yeah, I don't know, Donnie, man. Like I said, you gotta play the hand you're dealt and make the best of it. But it all gets back to thinking. Your mind, you gotta get rid of what I call broke man thinking. All your decisions is based on the fact that you broke. You know, the haves and the have not. It's all about how you think about things. And that gets back to your circle, who you hang with. You hang around people that ain't going nowhere, you're not gonna go nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I mean, this is something like, you know what I'm saying? But this is really something that's been going on a lot for a long time in our communities. You know what I'm saying? And it's education, because that's something that's really key. But then you got people that, you know what I'm saying, that got the good educations, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying, that got the good education and still
Got
can't
to
get a
reach
job.
back. You gotta reach back, man, and learn the game that's being played. Uh, each one teach one. When you get in, man, we gotta look out for one another too.
We
And
sure do, man.
you gotta remember why you there, man. We get caught up in all that social stuff, but your main purpose is to earn an income, take care of your family. You know, you gotta learn the lessons. You can't work for two bosses, and we get sucked into that one a lot of times. You know, uh, so it's like I said, there's a lot of opportunity in this city, man. It don't have to be the way it is, you know. So there's stuff to do in Indy. People make the world go around. It's boring, maybe because you boring. You know what I'm saying?
You
You
that
know,
that's you know that's a main thing, because a lot of people I know saying, man, I gotta get up out of Indianapolis, man. There's nothing to do here. I'm like, what you mean ain't nothing to do here? It's something always here to do.
yeah. Take money to do stuff. You know,
Yeah, it
stop
takes
trying to
money
be
to
a
do
taker,
stuff. You
man.
want
Learn
something
how to
free and
give.
stuff.
Learn how to give. Stop being a taker all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's,
You know, if you want to leave a legacy, leave it in people, not junk stuff and things. Put it in people.
yeah.
All right, Mr. Donnie, what you got for me?
All right, man. That's all, man. We're gonna wrap this up, man. Right on. Thank you for your time, because time is important. Then
Yes, indeed.
and that's it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Me and
All
Mr.
right, y'all
Q.
get at me next time, man. We'll do this again. Been fun.